What's up, Buffs fans? Welcome back to another episode of Buffs Hoops Weekly. I'm your host, Matt Spivak, and before I get into this week's episode, I just want to apologize for my 2-week hiatus from making podcasts. I did hit my head while snowboarding and get a little concussion, so I wanted to make sure to rest up and heal my brain just to make sure everything's all right. With that being said, I'm getting back into the swing of things, hopefully going to be continuing to be putting out weekly podcasts, and for this episode, I'm going to be recapping Colorado's first loss of the season to in-state rival Colorado State, and I'm going to be previewing their game upcoming on Friday against the University of Texas at San Antonio Roadrunners. Jumping into Colorado's slim 91-86 loss to the Rams, CSU entered this game as the best three-point shooting team by percentage in the nation, shooting above, I believe it was 45% entering the game, and they delivered, shooting above 50% against the Buffs on 18 made threes on 35 attempted shots. The Buffaloes, on the other hand, kind of stuck to their main game plan, which is scoring in the paint, using that fast pace, and trying to get transition points. The Buffs ended up outscoring the Rams 56-20 in paint points, but nonetheless, that didn't matter in the outcome as Colorado State was able to just rain deep from threes. I want to bring up this clip that I'm showing on the screen. Throughout the game, CU defenders would help on the ball too heavily and sag way too far off open shooters in the corners, allowing wide open three-point shots all game for this Rams squad, and obviously they've proven to be deadly from three. This game ended up coming down to the wire, but in the end, CU was unable to get a stop when they needed it most, and did end up missing some key free throws. They only lost by 5, and they did miss 6 free throws throughout the whole match, something to look out for. And now let's hear from Tad Boyle on his thoughts on the game.
Nobody listened to me. Nobody listened to our scouting report. I can tell you that. Nobody executed the game plan. We knew the number 1, the number 2, the number 3, 5 were their dudes behind the arc. They got other guys that can make threes. Don't get me wrong. But those 3 dudes are their guys that really take the most and make the most of their threes. At halftime, they had 10 made threes. Those 3 guys had 8 of the 10. We talked about it at halftime. We talked about it leading 10 minutes. In the game, they make 18 threes. Those 3 guys have 14.
Moving on to my key players of the game on the Buffalo side of the ball, it was quite hard for me to just pick a few guys. The Buffaloes had a lot of people who stepped up, especially offensively, and played great. 2 of the guys who I'll mention quickly was Sebastian Rancic and Bangkok Dak. Dak was controlling the paint in the first half. He finished with 12 points. Many of those were on dunks, finishing hard in the paint. Rancic also had a productive game. He scored 13 points on 5 of 8 from the field, and hauled in 7 rebounds, which tied the game high. So both of these guys played well, but in my opinion, the real stars were Alon Makayeli and Isaiah Johnson. Makayeli balled out. He was the highest scorer on the Buffaloes with 19 points, shooting at 66% from the field, so very efficiently, making 8 of his 12 shots and adding an assist and a block to go with it. He really showcased his ability to blow by defenders, get down low, attack the rim, and really his ability to finish as well with some finesse finishes and some layups that were really quite nice. And then my other key player was Isaiah Johnson. He was the second leading scorer on the Buffs with 17 points. Also very efficiently, he scored it at 63% from the field, making 7 out of 11 of his free throws, or of his made field goals. And then he also impacted the game in other ways, dishing out 3 assists, one of those being a nice alley-oop lob to Dak. That should be a clip in here. And then he also stole 3 passes, one of which is also a clip in here, takes the steal, and I think he takes it down for an easy lay. So was turning defense into offense and was really playing well out there in those minutes that he's getting. Still not starting, but I'm pretty sure he does lead the Buffs in points per game so far this season. Now let's hear from Johnson and his thoughts on the game.
Oh yeah, for sure. We'll take everything from this loss. I mean, like you said, we had 8 freshmen, so this is our first loss, in college basketball, so we have a lot to go for.
Moving on to the key players on the Rams side of the ball, Josh Pasquarelli was the player of the game. He was the game's leading scorer with 26 points and was super efficient. 9 of 13 overall from the field and 8 of 10 from deep. That's 80% from three. That is an insane number. He started the game with a step back three that was pretty contested, and from there he just continued splashing. It felt like anything he shot was just automatic. His teammate Kyle Jorgensen also had a nice night, scoring 21 points, the second highest score in the game. Also super efficiently, shot at 70% from the field and 50% from threes, making 3 out of his 6 attempted threes. He also grabbed 7 rebounds, which tied Sebastian Rancic for the game high, and he also had 3 assists and 3 steals. So Jorgensen was really all over the stat sheet in this one. I have a couple of those highlights up there for you. But moving on to the Buffalo's upcoming game against the University of Texas at San Antonio Roadrunners. Let's look at this Roadrunners squad a little bit. They compete in the American Athletic Conference, are currently 4-5 overall record, coming off a blowout loss to the 12th ranked Alabama, and a 14-point loss to the South Alabama Jaguars. So not too hot as of lately. They heavily rely on senior guard Jameer Simpson for his scoring prowess. He's averaging 19 points per game for the Roadrunners, which is 10 more points than anybody on their squad. So they really, really need him to score in every game. For rebounding, they're more versatile, having 5 guys averaging over 4 rebounds per game, led by forward Caden Rayfield, who grabs in just above 7 rebounds per game. This Roadrunner squad is led by head coach Austin Clonch, who is entering his 2nd season leading the squad. They went 12-19 overall under him last year and finished 9th in the conference. For the Buffaloes, coming off their first loss of the season, I expect the Buffs to be quite hungry in this one, especially on that offensive side. And then defensively, the Buffs have to shut down this UTSA squad that is averaging just above 72 points per game, which ranks 291st out of 361 D1 schools. So the Buffs defense really has to step up in this one. I expect the offense to kind of do what they've been doing and been balling out, but the defense really needs to elevate their game. I expect the Buffs to win by 15 or 20 in this one, as long as that defense can shut down this Roadrunner squad. That's all for this week's episode. As always, I'm your host, Matt Spivak, and thanks for joining me.